GG-FIZZ, we have an important Ark Survival Evolve Community Crunch news. In this video, we're going to be going over the Community Crunch 256, introducing the Voidwyrm and update to Genesis Part 2. So sit back, relax, and enjoy, and let's break this whole entire Community Crunch down. This was just posted from Studio Wildcard. It's officially been announced, which we've been talking about the last 2 weeks actually, that Genesis Part 2 has been delayed until May 26th, which honestly, it's not surprising because in theory they said March and everyone was thinking end of March anyways. So this is like almost a full month and somewhat days of a delay, but it doesn't really matter because there's a lot of things in here we'll say. But anyways, we know that news blah blah blah, and I love how they put Stadia, which no one gives a shit about Stadia. It's like an Xbox port. Yeah, have fun. Yeah, so I know people are gonna ask my opinion. Honestly, it's fine. Who cares? Let them delay it. Hell, they could delay it to the end of the year. You know why? Because we already know what's gonna happen. It's gonna come out and there's gonna be problems. But people like us, like me, are too addicted to Ark, and we're just gonna play it anyways. So it doesn't matter. So, you know, I would rather them take the extra time to prevent mostly the bad and broken stuff happening on launch day. Because if you remember, Extinction was probably one of the worst launches because of the entire map wipes and the overspawns of the Sarcos and stuff. There's a lot of problems. There's a lot of problems with Extinction launch, but it is one of the best maps out there. So it is what it is. As was shared before, the studio's transitioned to work remotely near the beginning of last year. Was it the beginning of last year? Wow. Yeah, it was the beginning of last year. Presented some particular concerns. Being entirely virtual is quite challenging, and various teams have a shift from an in-office workflow to, home workflow. In addition to the complications of working remotely, one challenge has been figuring out how to close out on Ark's saga faithfully from a narrative, cinematic, and endgame wise perspective. Something close to our hearts that we want to honor is the grand finale. Now, that brings a lot into a lot of story aspects and everything, and you know, we knew this day was kind of coming with Genesis and the Ark story, since they've now announced Ark 2. You know, this whole journey the last 6 years or more has been crazy. It really has. I mean, I made my whole career out of Ark and everything, and a lot of people also have made their careers and stuff, and you know, it is truly magical when a game brings so many people together and, you know, develops and delivers on greatness. You know, it truly is. Ark is very special. I mean, we've had like Dark and Light. It's been a failure, completely failure. We've had Atlas, which is a complete failure. Obviously, Snail Games owns both of those. And then we have Ark. So we also have like other competitions like Cynicals or whatever it's called, and Conan. I mean, Conan's kind of, you know, it's only popular in the moments with, you know, one content, and then it dies off quickly. You know, so it's crazy. You know, Ark is it is pretty interesting and incredible game. It really is. So yeah, I'm excited to see how the whole cinematic and ending is gonna go. And at the end of this video, I want to talk about that. I'm gonna put it in this video because I have some theories and stuff, so we'll talk about that. So let's go into the bad boy. Let's go into this. And on the note, we're likely to introduce a formidable Voidwyrm, a powerful, challenging new team that will soar above the Arks with the launch of Genesis Part 2. And we have some beautiful new cinematic renderings, as you would call it. Now, this doesn't make any sense, but is cool. And what I mean about doesn't make sense, remember, we're on a space station. Where do, well, spaceship, technically, space station's spaceship. Where the hell are these things from? Are they in the actual, like, land flying around? Because this looks like space, right? And then this is the other shot. I mean, look at this thing. Oh my god. This thing is crazy. Beautiful, well illustrated shot right here. It really is. It's crazy, you know? So yeah, and if we take this look, I mean, let's be honest, it does look like a wyvern. It's just a reskin wyvern for the most part. But we'll have to wait and see if it is or not. I like the design. I hope it's something interesting, you know, and it's very techy. It's a pure tech being creature, which is pretty interesting. So it looks cool. I think I like it. I like it. It's sad to see that it's not an egg tame. I think they just given up on egg gathering creatures, which is kind of a shame because, in my honest opinion, like the ice jumper is extremely OP, and it's been ever since. And when it came out, you know, not being able to get its eggs made it such a stupid creature, in my opinion, you know. So this not being a Magnosaur like kind of thing in a wyvern, you know, it's kind of disappointing, but it is what it is. Hopefully it's very difficult to tame and very interesting. The thing about, you know, an arc, right, if you want interesting tames and fun tames and are challenging, go, if you can, if you're on PC, Steam, download Arc Editions and try taming those creatures. That modder is brilliant genius for the different taming mechanics you can do with it. So that is cool, but I'm excited to see what this is and what its taming is about because it sounds really cool. We also have some information on here. Intentionally, we think of Genesis Part 2 as having two significant flawlessly challenges compared to Gen 1. These changes are the entire map is open, livable, blah blah blah. We already knew this. They've already said this multiple times. Structure items and creatures have been designed to assist and improve gameplay quality of life for all other players, designed to expand the meta in a meaningful way. Now see, this is something that's interesting, right? Because if you think about it, this is kind of the end of Arc 1, right? So let's honestly be honest, right? If they completely end the development of Arc 1, including the DLC maps, like DLC added maps, right? If that also includes those, then this will truly be interesting because official, you're gonna think of it as this, right? Official servers, to the most part, like for PvP and some other stuff, are gonna just die out, right? And everyone's gonna switch to Arc 2 anyways. So, you know, it's gonna be very interesting to see like what's gonna happen with all these new creatures and different changes and everything that, you know, they're gonna just leave at like the end game. So interesting to think about. You know, maybe we could talk about later on, but very, very interesting to think about. And you know, I think it's very interesting. Before we talk about story development stuff that I have some theories about, quick recap so the people that don't give a shit about my theories, you can go leave because we know you don't care. Genesis 2's got delayed. Okay, there's a new OP wyvern, Voidwyrm, whatever the hell you want to call, and you can build everywhere on the map, and there's some quality of life creatures. So that's kind of it. That's all you need to know. Goodbye. And now let's talk about story stuff. So some story stuff that I wanted to talk about is the tying in of Genesis Arc to Arc 2, right? And I've been talking about this with a lot of people, and I wanted to throw this out because I just want to have it booked on my character or my profile stuff, whatever you want to talk about. So in my take from this week's Genesis 2 Chronicles logs, and this was before we read this, Um, basically, what my theory is that after extinction, we have fixed and basically did rework the protocol of the arcs coming down, and we saved the planet. Now obviously fixing the planet is a different story, and it's going to take probably hundreds of years, right? And let's just say there's a billion new survivors, people that are going to come down from the arcs and live on Earth and fix the Earth over the years, right? What happens when they die with the protocol stuff, right? And everyone's like, well, wouldn't you just respawn, right? Because technically their whole respawn scenario thing is somewhat lore-y, but not really. And when you dive deeper and think about it, right? What if when the aberration arc comes down, it fucks with something, right? So think of the whole arc as a whole. Let's think of the whole arcs as a whole network, which they are. But think of it as a very tight network. And if something happens to one of a virus, wouldn't it affect all of them? Right? In theory. So my takes is that since the aberrant one crashes down on Ark, it has some sort of manipulative properties, you would say, with Rockwell, right? And somehow Rockwell manipulated the whole respawn cloning aspects to put people's, I want to say, not like, well, I guess you can say souls, right? We'll just say souls, make it simple. Their souls into the Genesis ship. Now, I have a feeling that this Genesis ship, right, we're gonna call it the Gen chip, was made before the arcs went into the air, way lore wise, or the ship was on Earth and was reactivated after Rockwell landed on the planet. And my theory is when a survivor dies on the planet now, they die and they don't get reincarnated, as you would say. Instead, their soul gets ported to the Genesis ship. And that's how maybe we end up there, because we still don't understand the whole aspect of us going to Genesis ship, right? Because in Gen 1, we wake up on the ship at the end when you kill Rockwell, VR Rockwell. So you like that whole thing of getting onto the ship is still a mystery. Anyways, my conclusion is, which is pretty much proven point right now, is what happened to Santiago Van Diesel, died on Earth, okay? Basically got his soul sent to the Genesis simulation after the whole arcs came down, and what happened was that arc ship, the Genesis ship, lifted off out of the planet because Rockwell has taken over it, right? And my theory is that what's gonna happen is that at the end of Genesis 2, we're going to basically save the ship, but at a cost where it's going to crash on a new world planet. We finally have defeated maybe Rockwell. I kind of hope we do, because it's kind of getting annoying, let's be honest. And the whole thing of the whole respawn and cloning and all this other stuff is kind of done. And so Santiago has been recloned, you would say, once more time, and that's it. This is his last time, because there's no more way. Now, obviously, for a gameplay perspective and all, you know, all that kind of stuff, obviously respawning is gonna happen in Arc 2 and all this other shit. But that's kind of like the half story and lore wise that I've been thinking about for the last couple months about the whole Genesis thing, and the whole, it was very relieving. If you haven't read the notes, go check the top right video. This week's notes from the gloves, which are fixed now, by the way, for females. So all the people that said they was for mods, you're all dumbasses. Sorry. You know, fucking dummies. That's my theory as of right now, and it's pretty plausible because I've had this theory for a couple months now, and the whole Santiago thing being confirmed now that he's been cloned, you know, it begs to differ that he has been cloned again for Arc 2, and I have a feeling that we are going to see him in Gen 1 and Gen 2 some way or another. If it's going to be helping us stop the ship in Rockwell, or maybe it's going to be the last ending cinematic of the ship crash landing on a new planet, and what happens is Santiago and a bunch of other survivors are the last people that are reincarnated from the civilization. Now, it doesn't explain a couple things still. Number one, what happens to Earth, right? Number two, how did Rockwell get on the ship? And also, is he also controlling the planet, right? And there's a lot of things that we have to think about and talk about, but that's kind of my idea right now. And obviously this is all could be baloney as shit, but I've been playing Ark for a long time, and you pick up a couple things here and there on the story, right? So I don't know. That's it. I wanted to put it in this video because I want to make a video about it, but I just haven't had any time. I've been very busy. A lot of stuff happening IRL and just streaming and stuff. So I'm very sorry if this video is a little bit longer than it needs to be, but who gives a crap? It's my video. I can do whatever I want. Screw your YouTube algorithm. Anyways, that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you like, subscribe, follow, and tell me guys what you think about this whole Voidwyrm. And hopefully if you have any theories about what my lore speculation and your speculation for the whole Ark lore, I'd love to hear it. Link in the description down below, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care and have a good one.